know a lot about golf.
Well, we're waiting.
Hey, it's Jeff Smith here again. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that I see an awful lot of the regular amateur player do when he's hitting pitch shots or she's hitting pitch shots that I see that's really making them struggle. I see an awful lot of people doing some things that alter the way the club would come down and strike the golf ball the best. I see what they do is like they've been told to turn the club face and point it up a little bit extra high, and they've raised the leading edge a little bit, and then they'll do this and they'll put the ball in the middle and they'll turn their body a little bit left of their target, you know, somewhat that open the face and open the body thing. But if you do that and you leave the ball right in the middle, what you're doing is you're putting the ball right down into the path when the club is still moving downward, but yet the leading edge is up because you've turned the club face to the right, or opening it, so to speak. And what happens is the club no longer sits flush, the leading edge is no longer going to get just down below the ball. You stand the chance of actually, you know, hitting the ball on the way down and striking the equator of the ball. And I see an awful lot of this, and the shots come off very low, and they're not really the best kind of pitch shot for the average player because they just can't seem to make that work. I've got a different solution for you. What I want to do is show you how to get the club to come into the golf ball where the leading edge is essentially coming flush to the surface with the trailing edge, and so it's kind of gliding and sliding along the surface as it comes underneath the golf ball. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have you point your body where you want your swing to go, where you want your ball to go, or essentially square it up to the target. And then what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you just set the club on the ground and fit it flush to the ground, and then just angle the hands forward just slightly, ever so slightly, so that the grip is just barely out in front of the golf ball. But the trick here is to have ball position that is left of center, forward of center. If you're, you can see the middle line of me right here behind the ball, and so my ball position is forward. So my hands are on there, and I'm not going to do anything fancy with my hands here. I'm not going to do this big hinging of the wrists and uncocking. I'm not trying to talk about any of those things. That's a different kind of shot. I'm just talking about a basic standard pitch shot where the arms swing back and then you just scuff the ground. And what you're going to do is your goal is to essentially take the lowest part of this club and just kind of gently thump the turf with the back edge of the club. And what you're going to hear is a little bit of thump on the surface, but what you're going to see is a ball that flies high and has a good bit of spin on it. And what you won't see is that low running, I can't stop it kind of a shot. So here's an example of that. So that ball, as you can see, left the face high, and I've scuffed the ground. I haven't taken any turf. I didn't take the leading edge and drive it downward into it, so my hands weren't leading too much. I just put it on the ground where the club fit flush to the ground right here, and then the handle was just gently out in front. So keep in mind, what you're looking for is the simplest of all things. So try not to do too many things that are off what is a normal standard shot for most of you, and you're going to succeed more and more with a shot that looks more like a regular shot than trying to alter too many things. I see that quite a bit in some amateurs, and the more they try to alter things, the less they succeed because they just don't seem to practice those positions very much. Most people don't have enough time to practice. So the way that I'm suggesting is a little bit more foolproof for the weekend player, for the person who does not have an awful lot of time to practice. So once again, ball forward, hands just barely forward of the golf ball, body in alignment with the target, and somewhat quiet, calm hands, and thump the ground underneath the golf ball.